Brittany Griner is finally adjusting to freedom, getting a haircut, shooting some hoops at the Brooke Army Medical Center. She's on the military base where she is getting treatment for her physical and mental health. U.S. Special Envoy Roger Carstens from the State Department, who led the team that negotiated her release over many, many months, describing her reactions after the prisoner swap in the United Arab Emirates when Griner boarded the U.S. government plane for that 18-hour flight to Texas.
We actually tried to give her some space to say, look, you probably want to decompress after 10 months in a Russian prison. And she said, no, I want to talk. I want to relate to people. And I found someone who was just absolutely wonderful, kind, generous, interesting, and above all, authentic.
And joining me now is Washington Post columnist Eugene Robinson. Well, I mean, however you feel, it's great to celebrate that Brittany Griner, an American prisoner, wrongfully detained, is now able to, dunk a shot on a military base in Texas, get a haircut, and reunite with her family, most importantly with Sherelle and the rest of the family and friends. And she's going through this very well-calibrated medical readjustment that has worked so well for other hostages and for combat veterans that we do down there, that the U.S. Army does so well. But you wrote a column titled, "Trading Brittany Griner for an arms dealer was a good deal, but you worried that it could set a precedent." So let's talk about that. What are your concerns?
Well, look, the obvious potential precedent is that other despotic governments would feel that they could get concessions from the United States by snatching U.S. citizens who happen to be on their soil and detaining them and then using them as leverage. Now, but that's always been there. That possibility has always been there. So there's nothing kind of new. I thought and continue to believe that this was not only the right thing to do morally. This is what our government should do. We should try to get Americans home who are being wrongfully detained in places like Russia and Iran and other such places. But I also thought just on a tit for tat basis, I thought it was a very good deal to trade Brittany Griner for Viktor Bout, who is a very, very bad person, who the merchant of death, they called him, the arms dealer, but who was only convicted of specific crimes in the United States. And he was given the minimum sentence by the federal judge who presided over his trial, the minimum, which was 25 years. And the way federal prison sentences work, he had been in for a decade. He was going to be out probably in 6 years. So that's really what we were trading. He was not convicted of all the other arms dealing crimes that we believe he committed. We're sure he committed, but we keep people in prison for what we can prove in a court of law they did, not what we think we know they did.
Funny about that. That is the U.S. system, the American system of justice. And then you've got a lot of criticism, especially from potential and currently announced candidates, Donald Trump, notably, Mike Pompeo, potentially for a Republican nomination in 2024, both saying that Pompeo said when he was Secretary of State, they opposed trading Viktor Bout for Paul Whelan. This was on Fox.
The Trump administration was always very clear. We weren't going to trade bad guys for celebrities because it creates the wrong incentives for the bad guys.
But she's not pointing out that they were willing to bring the Taliban to Camp David for negotiations before there had been any peace deal. But that said, Pompeo is saying that freeing the Russian Viktor Bout jeopardizes national security. And Trump is weighing in on his social media site. But the fact is, they're saying they can try to track him. It's clear he can reconnect, even with dried up, sources, and his network is pretty much shut down. But he can recreate that. He's close to Putin, or at least he has connections to the Kremlin. And he certainly is part of the intelligence services. What does this all mean for Paul Whelan? Because the Russians claim he's a spy, the U.S. and he denies it. And the Russians want a spy for a spy, and the U.S. says we don't have a spy. So Putin said over the weekend, yeah, we want to make more deals. Clearly the U.S. does. How do we do this? Can we call somebody else, you know, a hacker, call him a spy, and have done with it? I mean, the art of the possible?
I have no idea. I have no idea really how we do it. They have a thing about Paul Whelan, the Russians do, and it is very clear. I guess at one point it seems they were willing to trade him for Victor Bout, but we were not. I guess Pompeo and Trump were not. I would have made that deal at that time. I mean, to get Paul Whelan home. But given that the Russians have put him in the special category and will only take back a Russian spy that we say we don't have, and we can't pry. I guess there was somebody in German custody that they were kind of interested in as part of a deal, but that's for the Germans to decide. So I really don't know, and that is the one sort of depressing a bit of news out of this otherwise very happy situation. Brittany Griner is home, yes, and that is great, but we cannot cease efforts to get Paul Whelan home. He is being unjustly held.
And they say that, and Roger Carstens, the top negotiator, did call Paul Whelan on Friday, the day after they got back, and promised that very thing. Eugene Robinson, thank you so much.